Alright, so found a laptop inside of
Springton.
the Hackney box. Not Springton, has nothing to do with Springton. And because of that, I can do anything I want with it. So that means take it apart, see if we can get it working. One thing we don't have is actually a charge cable for this guy. Now my jack for charging is a circle outside and a pin in the middle, so it's a little barrel jack. Now what that means is I have two contacts inside that barrel jack, and it's up to me to figure out which one goes where for the voltage source and the ground. So that's where the meter comes in. Continuity. This is going to let me figure out which of these pins go to where in this jack. So first things first is I want to meter the outside edge and then start probing these pins. So out of the 5 connectors here, 4 of them go to the outside of the barrel jack. And then this little guy in the center, since there's only one left, goes to this pin. Most barrel jacks have a ground on the outside and voltage source in the middle. Not all of them though, and you usually find that out when you look at the port or in your charging block. It'll draw like a C shape, and it'll say plus or minus to the C, and then it'll have a circle inside the C, and it'll say the opposite of plus or minus, and that's how you determine polarity of your barrel jack. Now with this source, since I have a giant green pad and 4 out of 5 connectors going to that giant green pad, I'm going to assume that the outside circle is my ground. So I will be soldering a black wire to that. And then my little 1 pin, I'm going to solder my voltage source to it. For me to determine what my power source is, I've looked at the case outside on the back of the laptop. And what I see here is plus 12 volts at 3 amps and then 36 watt. So that's a bit redundant because we know wattage is voltage times current. So 12 times 3 is 36. See? Yeah, we are learning a lot. With a 12 volt source that can support 3 amps, I have one nearby, but it can only support 1 amp, which means this guy would pull too much power and burn out that power supply. So instead of using something conventional, I've got a 12 volt battery here, and it can support up to as many amps as I want for pretty much what I need. Actually, I've never stress tested a 12 volt battery. That's going to be a dangerous day, but I feel like for science we need to. All the lights, or motors, oh my gosh, all the motors. But that's not today. So first of all, let's go ahead and solder some wires. Now I'll go ahead and I'm going to tin my wires. Okay, so black one is tinned. Tin my red. Okay. Now I also need to tin the other side, so the contacts. And the contacts I'm going to tin will be this guy right here. There you go. And I'm going to tin any one of the other ones outside. So I'm going to go a little bit farther away. The last thing I want to do is bridge these two. There we go. Now one of the reasons that we tin them is so that when I take the 2 tin surfaces and reheat both of them, they'll reflow together relatively quickly. So red first. The excess out of the way. And I always give everything I do a nice tug. That way I know it's not going to fall out. At least not without forcibly making it do so.
Your hand is very much.
Well, I can't physically make my hand not exist.
Can you?
Nope. So the one lead that was by itself now has my red wire. And the lead that's attached to 4 others is now my black wire. And what I did earlier is I actually cut it out a slot of the outside of the case. In case this works, I can actually put everything back together, and then I'll still have 2 wires that can come out to screw terminal to anything I really want it to. Now I've got that done. Let's do some mad science. Ja-dun, ja-ja-dun, ja-ja-dun, hey, hey. That's gonna be stuck in my head all day now. So first thing I always do is my negative lead first. So I'm going to attach my ground first. Just in case. Power, power, power. I've got lights. Screen is on. Look at that. Screen is on. Press escape to boot. I should probably attach the keyboard to further test this, but I now know that my polarity for these connectors with a 12 volt source can power this machine. So that's it for this one. I hope that was informative. Basically, it was determining where these contacts go for a power source and then adding a way for me to power by something that they did not ship it with, because that would be silly. So thanks. Hope you have a good day. Later!